This man built one of America's most recognizable family brands. He was also 6 months too late to ever meet his own mother. And the one relative who ever wrote him back told him to disappear. That little girl on every Wendy's cup in the world, she's real. She's his daughter. The story everyone tells you stops there. Sweet dad, proud daughter, a name that stuck. It's the other half of the story, the part Wendy's never put on a cup, that actually explains why this company exists at all. November 15th, 1969, Columbus, Ohio. Dave Thomas opens his first restaurant after years of turning around failing franchises for other people. This one is his. He names it after his 8-year-old daughter. Her real name was Melinda Lou, but her siblings couldn't pronounce it. Melinda became Wenda, then simply Wendy. Before he opened the doors, Dave had spent years managing KFC franchises, working directly under Colonel Sanders, and he'd watched what happened when a real person, not an invented mascot, became the face of a brand. He wanted the same thing for his own restaurant. So he sat his daughter down, told her to pull her hair into pigtails, and photographed her. That photo became the illustration, freckles and red pigtails, eventually appearing on every sign, every cup, and every napkin in more than 6,000 Wendy's restaurants worldwide. It's a story everyone knows. Here's the part almost nobody does. Dave Thomas was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1932. He was adopted at 6 weeks old by Rex and Oliva Thomas of Kalamazoo, Michigan. He never knew his birth mother, not her face, not even her name, not for years. When Dave was 5, his adoptive mother died. His father remarried 3 times and chased work wherever he could find it. Town after town, school after school, just enough time to unpack before moving again. In just 10 years, Dave attended 12 different schools. He left home at 15, dropped out of school in 10th grade, spent a stretch living at the YMCA. The man who would spend his life selling the country on the idea of family, square patties, home-style quality, a daughter's face on every sign, grew up with almost none of it. But that isn't where this story ends. Because the hardest part of this story isn't what happened to him. It's what happened after he finally had a family of his own. At 21, he decided to look for his birth parents. After years of dead ends, he finally found a name, then a lead, then a phone number. For the first time in his life, it looked like he might actually meet his birth mother. He was 6 months too late. She had already died. No conversation, no goodbye, no chance to ask a single question. The search ended there. He built Wendy's. He built a marriage. He and his wife Lorraine would stay together for over 40 years, raise 5 kids. He built the empire, the commercials, the quality is our recipe persona the whole country came to recognize. But the question didn't go away. It just went quiet. For nearly 40 years, the search stayed buried. Then someone else quietly picked it up. His daughter, Pam. She found his birth father's trail. He too had already died. But she found something Dave never had. A living relative, a half-brother, a successful man, an MIT graduate, still alive, still reachable. For a moment, there was a door that hadn't closed yet. Dave reached out. The reunion never happened. His half-brother wasn't interested in having a relationship. Years later, Dave explained, he didn't want his mother to know that his father had a little one-night deal, describing in the gentlest terms he could manage the reason he was turned away. The one living connection he had left didn't want to know he existed. Dave never searched again. That smiling little girl on the cup doesn't tell you the whole story. Behind her is a man carrying more than anyone realized. Because remember, the hardest part of this story wasn't the childhood he didn't choose, or the mother he found 6 months too late, or the brother who turned him away. It's what happened after he finally built a family of his own. Wendy's success came with a cost. Years on the road, managing an empire instead of being home. His own son, Ken, would later say his father didn't really know how to be present. He wasn't the kind of dad who stuck around for the small stuff. His daughter, Pam, remembered it was her mother who held things together, while her father came home too tired to be there. Dave admitted it himself. He was a hard man to get along with as a father, and being around his kids too much wore on him. The distance he grew up in didn't just disappear because he built something bigger than it. Some of it followed him home. It got better later. As his kids grew up, the relationship eased. Today, several of them still run Wendy's locations of their own, carrying his name forward. There's one more thing. Years before he died, Dave apologized to his own daughter for the weight he'd put on her, a real girl, forever frozen as an 8-year-old on a fast food sign. He told her he probably should have just named the place after himself. He never got his own family back, not the mother he lost, not the brother who turned him away, not even for a long time the closeness he wanted with his own kids. But adoption had always been close to his heart. He'd had a family who took him in as a baby. He'd had his grandmother, Minnie, the one steady presence in a childhood that otherwise kept moving. In 1992, he channeled that into the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, working to find permanent, loving families for the more than 100,000 children still waiting in foster care today. Kids who, like he once did, just needed someone willing to stay. For 30 years, he told America that quality was his recipe. He never mentioned the other one, what you build when you can't get back what you lost.